So welcome back to our channel Quick Learning. So now our topic of presentation is difference between cost of living and standard of living. So the content of this presentation are comparison chart, definition, key differences and conclusion. So comparison chart. So basically the meaning of cost of living is like a cost of living implies the general level of prices of the goods and services which a common man can afford for his regular needs. But the standard of living refers to the level of money and well-being that people enjoy in a particular country. So the measures of cost of living is now how expensive it is to survive in a place in comparison to another. And the standard of living is how well the people of a particular class live without compromising their needs and wants. So the cost of living is linked to wages and the standard of living is linked to quality of life. So the indicators for cost of living are cost of living index and purchasing power party. But the indicators of standard of living are real income per person and poverty rate. So, definition of cost of living is like it refers to the amount of money required to maintain a minimum standard of living by being able to afford the necessities of life such as food, clothing, shelter, transportation, telephone, internet, recreation, education, healthcare, taxes and other utilities. So, it determines what amount you pay for availing the necessary items and amenities. So how to calculate a cost of living? It will be explained with the help of example. So now let's say that the cost of living rose by 1.5% over the past year. So an employee earns 35,000 per year and add 1.5% to their wages. So we have to multiply both of them and then we can get a 525. So 525 is added in 35,000 which is the initial amount that the employer can earn. Then the answer will be 35,525. So now the employer earns is 35,525. So now standard of living is defined as the degree to which a particular socio-economic class can avail the wealth, comfort and material items in a particular area. So it is used to determine the relative prosperity of a democratic group in a country. So the standard of living of a family or residents of the region basically depends on several factors like income, employment rate, poverty rate, quality of education, healthcare, religious and social freedom, level of crime, rate of inflation, infrastructure, life expectancy, and economic and political stability. So these are the countries of cost of living and the standard of living. So the some countries with the highest standard of living are Finland, Canada, Denmark, Australia, Sweden, Switzerland and Norway. And the countries with the highest cost of living are Bermuda, Switzerland, the Bahamas, Norway, Denmark, Iceland and Singapore. So finally the key differences are the cost of living refers to the price of the basket of goods and services which are considered must for a person or a family livelihood in a particular place. But the standard of living indicates a reasonable scale of expenditure in a particular city or a country, like the products we use, the services we afford, our attitude and moral values. So the cost of living is used to measure the amount one must spend to afford the necessities of life in order to survive in that city and in comparison to another city. But the standard of living is used to measure the financial health of the population as it indicates the way people of a particular city live without referring their needs and wants. So the cost of living is calculated by the cost of living index and purchasing power, whereas the standard of living can be determined with the help of real income per person and poverty rate. And finally, the cost of living is linked to wages, but the standard of living and the is linked to the quality of life. So finally, I conclude my presentation by saying that the cost of living indicates the amount of money required to maintain the minimum level of subsistence by affording the necessities of life and as against the standard of living ascertains the degree of subsistence of a socio-economic group as regards the sufficiency of needs and comforts in the day-to-day life. So here one thing is to be noted, that cost of living is based on the standard of living, and this is since the higher the standard of living, the more expensive it will cost to the people to maintain that level. So that's all from my side. Kindly subscribe to my channel. Thank you.